Hello, this is Gregory Jackson for GrebJack.com. Welcome back to my tutorial series on creating the framework for an adventure RPG hybrid in RPG Maker MZ. In this lesson, we are going to create trees that can have the trunks and tops turned on and off independently and be colored independently as well. Then we're going to be back into RPG Maker MZ to build a few overworld screens using rocks and trees. Before we get started with the trees, let's add one more rock group. Repeat the process used for the green and brown rocks to create a dark gray group, and add it to the rocks and trees tile set. And so now we are done with the rocks half of the tile set. Now let's get to work on the tree tiles. Open up outside_b.xcf and turn the grid and grid snapping on. Select and copy these 4 tiles and paste them as a new image. Remove the shadow. Remove the trunk. At the top of the screen, click Image and select Scale Image. Under Image Size, set both width and height to 48, and under Quality, set Interpolation to None, then select Scale. Now rename Pasted Layer to Treetop Source. Create a new layer group, rename it to Treetop, and move Treetop Source into it. Now save this file in our work folder as treetopsingle.xcf. In outside_b.xcf, select and copy these 2 tiles and paste them as a new image. Remove the shadow. Now scale the image down to 24 pixels wide and 48 pixels high with interpolation set to none. Rename Pasted Layer to Tree Trunk Source and put it into a layer group named Tree Trunk. Save the file as treetrunksingle.xcf. Using Treetop Single's treetop layer and using the relevant templates, create and save a file named treetopgroup.xcf. Now do the same thing with Tree Trunk Single's tree trunk layer to create and save treetrunkgroup.xcf. Now copy Tree Trunk Group and paste it as a new image. Then copy Tree Top Group and paste it into that new image. Rename the floating selection layer to Treetop Source and the background layer to Tree Trunk Source. Click on the Treetop Source layer and create a new layer group. With that layer group selected, create another one. It will be inside the first one. Now select the first layer group again and create another layer group inside it. Rename layer group number 2 to Treetop and move Treetop Source into it. Now rename layer group number 1 to Tree Trunk and move Tree Trunk Source into it. And finally, rename layer group to Tree. And now we have a tree tile group that will let us turn the tree top and tree trunk layers on and off independently. Coloring them independently works by duplicating either source layer and colorizing it the same way we did with the rock group in Lesson 5. But before we do that, save this file as treegroup.xcf. Let's duplicate the treetop source layer twice. Colorize treetop source copy to a satisfactory gray color, rename it to Gray Treetop, and then turn it off. Colorize treetop source copy 1 to a satisfactory brown color, rename it to Brown Treetop, and then turn it off. We now have what we need to add the green, gray, and brown tree groups to the tile set. Select the tree layer group, copy it, and paste it into rocksandtrees.xcf here. In treegroup.xcf, turn brown tree top on, copy the tree layer group, and paste it into rocks and trees above the green tree group. Back in treegroup.xcf, turn brown tree top off and gray tree top on. Copy the tree layer group again and paste it into rocks and trees above the brown tree group. Now we need to get the dead tree group. Once again in treegroup.xcf, turn off the treetop layer group. Not only is the tree trunk layer completely visible, but there is now a slash through the eye icon next to the treetop source and gray treetop layers, indicating that while they are still on, they are not visible because the layer group they are in has been turned off. Duplicate the tree trunk source layer. Colorize tree trunk source copy to a satisfactory gray color. Adjust its opacity to 50 and rename it to Dead Tree Trunk. Select the tree layer group, copy it, and paste it into Rocks and Trees below the green tree group. Save the changes to rocksandtrees.xcf. Now let's get the Rocks and Trees tileset into RPG Maker MZ. At the top of the screen, click File and then click Export As. Browse to our project's tileset folder, select PNG image as the file type, and click Export. Click Export again, and we're done with GIMP for now. Switch over to RPG Maker MZ. Go into the Tilesets section of the database. Under Tilesets, select Outside. Under Images, set E to Rocks and Trees. Click Tab E under the Tile palette. Set the passage for all tiles with rock or tree graphics to solid by clicking them until an X is displayed. And then click OK. On map 001, replace all existing gray rock tiles with green rock tiles. On map 003, using the dark gray rock tiles, make something like this. Using green rocks, gray trees, and dead trees, make map 004 look something like this. With this map, we actually have a visible transition from green rocks to gray trees for the border tiles. Using brown trees and brown rocks, make map 005 look like this. And finally, on map 002, use the gray rock junction tiles to complete the map. So we've got our Rocks and Trees tile set into RPG Maker MZ, and we've used it to update the existing maps to include some navigation barriers using different visual styles. In the next lesson, we're going to cover two things. 1. Bushes to block player movement. 2. A sword to slash the bushes with. For GrabJack.com, this is Gregory Jackson. Thanks for watching.